Hey all, Ron here from Military Images Magazine with a new episode of Life on the Civil War Research Trail. You know, if you were a Union soldier during the war years and you captured a Confederate flag during a battle, you're pretty much guaranteed to receive the Medal of Honor. Why is that? Because flags were incredibly important to both armies, to the regiments and other military organizations. Flags were the rallying point. Flags represented your country. Flags represented your identity, not only for yourself, but your comrades, esprit de corps, all of the things that make a Union regiment or a Confederate regiment what they were. Could also be an artillery battery, but particularly infantry regiments and cavalry regiments, places where those battle flags went that were dangerous and could be captured. Protecting that flag was incredibly important. And so it was for the 140th New York Infantry and the sergeant pictured here, Robert Shipley. He received the Medal of Honor for capturing a flag. And this story has an interesting twist, which you'll find out. But let me tell you how he came to capture the flag first. I want to take you to April 1st, 1865, in Virginia, the Battle of Five Forks. The Civil War in the Eastern Theater is about a week away from ending. Folks on both sides pretty much knew it was coming, but they fought like heck to prevent it from happening on the Southern side. The Union side was pursuing as hard as they could to stop it. During that Battle of Five Forks, there came a moment when Sergeant Shipley, in the chaos and confusion of battle, came upon a Confederate soldier holding the stars and bars. That Confederate soldier was in the 9th Virginia Infantry, and Shipley came up behind him. The Confederate had absolutely no idea that Shipley was on top of him until he literally was right behind him. And Shipley took his rifle and gently poked the Virginia infantryman with the butt of his rifle. And he said to the startled Virginian when he turned around, "Pass those colors over to me." That's how the word came down through history. That's the anecdote. Shipley shouted, "Pass the colors over to me." The Confederate whirled around. He wanted to use that flagstaff as a club and was about to bring it down on the head of the sergeant, Sergeant Shipley. But Shipley had his bayonet out and managed to secure the flag, putting an end to the infantrymen and capturing the flag. So that's the end of the story. That's the moment that Shipley took possession of the stars and bars belonging to the 9th Virginia. He received the Medal of Honor, as expected, for that. It was one of 17 awarded during the Battle of Five Forks. In fact, Shipley was the only member of his regiment, the 140th New York, that received a Medal of Honor. And in fact, Shipley had quite a history, but not with the 140th. He had spent the majority of his Civil War service with the 44th New York Infantry and had only recently transferred to the 140th. So he came in about 5 months before the Battle of Five Forks, captures a flag, and gets the Medal of Honor. Now, I want to take you almost a quarter century after the Battle of Five Forks to 1888. A newspaper reporter interviewed Shipley about that Medal of Honor event, that episode. And during the course of the interview, and here's where we get into the twist, during the course of the interview, Shipley told him that before he turned the flag over, he cut out one of the 13 stars that were arranged in the stars and bars of the Confederate flag. He took it as a memento, as a war trophy. And in fact, as of that interview, that 1888 interview, he still had the star in his possession. The reporter couldn't help himself, and he asked Shipley what was his opinion of the fact that President Grover Cleveland had supported the return of captured Confederate battle flags during this period of reunion. The war had been so long ago, and still both sides hadn't completely reconciled. And Grover Cleveland supported the idea of the return of those flags would maybe help ease the tensions and bring about that final reconciliation. Shipley, according to the reporter, noted, quote, that he would forward it to the president and have it replaced on the captured flag if Grover Cleveland was still of the opinion that rebel flags ought to be returned to their original owners. That was in 1888. Shipley died in 1903 at age 64, the same year that his story was published in a well-known book to you students of the Civil War called Deeds of Valor: How America's Civil War Heroes Won the Congressional Medal of Honor. Shipley's remains were buried in Illinois, where he had made his home after the war. His wife, Mary, and a daughter survived him. Where that star is today is a mystery. It would be wonderful if it turned up. I can tell you one place where it isn't. It's not on that Confederate flag. It never made it back. The flag, however, it was returned to Virginia, and today it resides in the American Civil War Museum. Here's that flag, and if you count the stars, you will see there's only 12. The one in the upper left-hand corner is missing. That was the star that Shipley took as his war memento. So thanks for listening. Until the next episode, we'll see you. Take care.